Hi, good evening. My name is Michael Connett, and I am an attorney, and I'm actually coming from Los Angeles, California. So I was the lead attorney in this case that's still going on. We finished our trial in June of this year, and we're still doing some post-trial briefing. But it's a case that's lasted about 3.5 years. And we've deposed a number of federal scientists, including a representative of the Centers for Disease Control and a representative of the EPA. So today, I know I only have a couple minutes, but I'll just mention a few highlights or a few things that I think are important to consider when looking at this question of whether Green Bay should continue to fluoridate its water. And the first point is, in 2006, the National Research Council issued a landmark report on fluoride toxicity. It's a 500-page report where the NRC identified data showing that fluoride damages the brain in animals. Based on that data, and some early studies in humans, the NRC recommended that we needed to do rigorous human studies to examine the effects of fluoride on IQ. And subsequent to the NRC's recommendations, you've had 2 study teams funded by the National Institutes of Health, the NIH. One study team has done studies on fluoride and IQ in Mexico. The other study team has done studies of fluoride and IQ in Canada. These are NIH studies that had careful vetting of the methodology by specialists at NIH. There have now been 4 publications from these NIH teams in the past 3 years. Every single one of the NIH studies has found significant and large adverse effects between early life fluoride exposure, principally prenatal exposure in utero, and reduced IQ and, in one study, ADHD symptoms in the offspring. So you have very well-conducted studies funded by the NIH, which have unanimously found neurodevelopmental harm from the fluoride exposure at the levels that people are receiving in fluoridated areas. And I deposed the chief scientist on fluoride at EPA's Office of Water in this case, Dr. Donahue. She testified that these studies warrant an entire reassessment of fluoride safety standards, not only in the United States, but around the world. I also deposed the representative of the CDC, and he testified in this case that there's no benefits from fluoride exposure prenatal and no benefits from fluoride exposure during the first 6 months of life for an infant. These are the periods of time of greatest risk based on these NIH studies, and the CDC admitted in this case that there's no benefit during this period of life, which is of greatest vulnerability to harm. So